Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be budgeting for the month of November in the year 2019. Obviously, this is my 7x9 Erin Condren Deluxe monthly planner. If you would like to get one or any other Erin Condren item, then be sure to use my referral link in my description box so that you can get $10 off of your first order. So I'm going to just flip to November. This is the November tab, and this is the neutral, which is why you don't see any color really, because this is what they consider neutral. So I'm going to flip to the monthly overview here, and we do a form of electronic budgeting, but for the most part, paper planning is what speaks to me as of right now. There may come a time in my life where paper planning does not speak to me, but as of right now, it does. So, regarding our paydays, the first thing that I like to do is kind of just mark our paydays. So this one, and that's what we'll do first, so this makes sense for everybody. This is going to be Shay full-time. This is going to be Shay full-time plus YouTube, because the YouTube paydays are relatively large, and so we do take into consideration that on a regular basis because we do know when it's going to come. Now my husband is now getting paid weekly, so I'm not going to remove that sticker, but I am going to mark every Friday in November, and this is from his full-time job. So we both have full-time jobs and we both have side hustles, and if you're new around these parts, if you hang on for like, I don't know, 5 more minutes, we will get down to the actual budgeting process of all of this. But this is the first thing that I like to do. This is what I consider key in organizing our finances. So this is going to be Mark full-time, Mark full-time, Mark full-time. Oh, yay for him for getting 5 paydays. Mark full-time, and then Mark full-time, which will probably realistically be here, but whatever, I'm not moving over that sticker. So the next thing that I like to do is kind of just mark our bills. And so the first bill that we have due is going to be cable/internet, and that is going to be $110.72. If you're wondering where I'm getting these numbers from, memory. Rent/water is due on the 5th of every month at $7.50. I truly believe that for me, the key is first of all, figuring out when I'm going to get paid, how much we're getting paid. That's not just me, just me specifically. I'm talking about everyone in this household, which there are only 2 people in this household, my husband and me. But I truly feel like the first step is first trying to figure out how much money you're going to bring in. Then figuring out what your expenses are, which again, we'll do the actual monthly budget momentarily. And so if you're not going to use stickers, which I sell these stickers in my Etsy shop, shameless plug, this is December's pattern. I love that. But if you're not going to do the sticker thing and all of that, it's fine, but I still think it's important to kind of highlight or to notate when things are going to be happening. So the next bill is going to be my husband's credit card. So I'm going to put Mark CC. More often than not, the credit card is actually paid at the end of the previous month, but in the event that there would be a balance, then it would come out automatically on the 9th. So as of right now, I'm not going to put anything down, but if there did happen to be, any expenses or anything like that, it would come out on the 9th. The next one is electricity, and I don't know how much this bill is going to be until the beginning of November, so I'm just going to leave it blank. And then this here is going to be, first of all, one of them is whose gym membership is due? Somebody's gym membership is due, and it's probably mine. Okay, so we'll do whose gym membership? Really? Truly? Oh, that's the problem. That's why we're getting messed up here. And if you pull up the sticker gently enough, they won't rip. But if you like yank them up, they'll likely rip. So mine, Shea Gem, is due on the 17th at $19.99. And then my husband's gem is due on the 18th at $19.99. And my credit card is due, but I have a Best Buy credit card that I can only use Best Buy. It's already paid off, like there's no balance on it currently. I can't imagine I'm going to buy anything from Best Buy between now and the next few days or whatever, but if that were the case, then it would be paid on the 18th. But as of right now, there is no balance. And then here we have my student loan, and then we have my husband's student loan, and respectively they are 221.78 and 73.42. And then this is cell phones, and that did go up, so we'll talk about that. And I'm expecting it to be about 106.50. So we do have some financial goals, obviously, with us supposed to be moving into this house in December, you know, just assuming the house is actually finished and everything. That's kind of the only thing that would prevent us from moving in. But assuming that happens, then, I mean, obviously we have some big hefty goals that we would like to get completed in November. But I actually don't like writing out. I like doing my budget like a week before the new month starts, but I don't actually like writing out my goals until the beginning of that new month, because we could go ahead and meet some of those goals, you know, in the previous month. For October, we may go ahead and meet some of the goals that we would set for November and October. And normally that happens, let's say we want to, like in December the 6th is when our car insurance premium is due. 9 times out of 10, while our goal is to pay it in full in December instead of making monthly car insurance payments, oftentimes we'll go ahead and pay it in October, or in November, excuse me, when it's due in December, but oftentimes we'll pay it in November. So just to kind of get it out of the way, truly. So that has, you know, I'd like to mark this at a later date. And so that's pretty much what is going to be going down for the month of November. I do have happy holidays here to remind myself, you know, about the holidays, because I may be going home for Thanksgiving, because my goddaughter will be born any day now, so I may go ahead and go home in November when I have some days off of work. Also, I do have a planner meetup on the 23rd. It's like a planner event thing that I'm going to that's here in my city, and it's like I think like one of the big ones that they're throwing, one of the biggest ones that I've gone to here. So I'm going to be going to that. The one thing to keep in mind for that is possibly like buying and supporting vendors and stuff if they have vendors. I really don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with anything because that's who I am as a person. But that's kind of something to be mindful of. Also, I'm getting my hair done on the 3rd. There are a couple of things. Our anniversary is in November, but we've kind of already planned for that or budgeted for that. So there are a number of things that are going to be going on in November, but the major thing would be if I do decide to go home, because I may rent a car, and home is a long way from here, so I may rent a car. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let me zoom in a little bit, and let's go ahead and talk about our actual budget for the month of November. Okay, so first things first, we have my income, and then we have my husband's income, and then we have total income. So there will possibly come a time where we are not budgeting using my income and just saving all of my husband's. Currently, technically what we do is we live off of my income while saving what's excess, and we save all of my husband's income. I feel as though there may come a time where that's not the case. Maybe perhaps once we get into this house, we've been thinking about kind of changing things up. But for the most part, the reason why we've always done this is because since we've been budgeting together and married for almost 3 years, my income has always been the most fixed and the most reliable as far as knowing when it's going to come, because I'm salaried. And his is always more variable. So that's kind of traditionally why we've done that. But I feel like there will come a time where we don't actually do that. But regarding my income for the month of November, and also accounting for the income that is already going to be in our accounts whenever we start the month of November, which we call rollover. We are going to be looking at roughly $6,700. My husband's income, again, we don't really budget for that. Well, we don't budget for it at all. It's a part of our savings. Like, mentally, we know that we save all of it, but essentially we don't actually budget for it or using it. So all of it would go to savings, literally every last drop, especially in November, because I have no travel plans for November outside of possibly going home. I haven't decided, but either way, that's kind of like a cheaper type of trip because I just really have to show up and couch surf between the different cities and whatever. So that's the thing. And then December, we don't have any travel plans either, which means that we will for sure be saving all of my husband's income. Now, moving on to the expenses. The first thing that we are going to budget for, and I'm kind of over here messing with this Every Dollar app. That's the app that we use for our electronic budget. The first actual expense is going to be rent/water/pest control. Technically, they're including pest control in that. We are going to budget $750. Our next expense is going to be cable/internet, and we have Comcast/Xfinity. And we pay, oh, by the way, if you're new here, we live in the state of Georgia in a low cost of living area. So basically everything here is relatively inexpensive. I think it's normal because I've not always lived in Georgia. I've only been here for 4 years, but the cost of living where I'm from is about the same. So I don't consider it to be abnormal. It's normal to me, but I can see how, depending on where you live, different cities have higher cost of living. So I can see how it would be considered to be like a low cost of living, although it's kind of just my normal. Cable/internet, Comcast/Xfinity, under like a 2-year contract thing, which we normally renew every 2 years. And my husband does have a sports package, and I think we have the highest internet. If not, it's the speed underneath that, and we pay $110.72. I can't wait to talk to you guys about like what is going to change when we get into the house and stuff, but as of right now, we're just going to stick to November. The next one is electricity. So naturally, we have Georgia Power, and I like to go on the app to see what, like, I'll go and see what our projected amount will be. And right now the projection is somewhere between like $70 and $100. It's normally like a $30, like they'll give you like a $30, range or whatever. So I'm going to budget $100 for electricity, with assuming that it'll probably come in like right under maybe like 90 something. The next one is phone. So we have AT&T prepaid, which I highly advocate for prepaid cell phone plans. However, I do understand the one downfall or con, if you will, is that, if you're going to have a prepaid plan, you have to essentially buy your phones in cash, or, come to you can come with a phone that's already paid off because it has to be paid off before you can switch to prepaid. But if you ever want to upgrade it, you'll have to, essentially buy the phone with cash, because you can't owe on the phone and be on a prepaid plan. That's the difference between prepaid and postpaid. Also, you pay before rather than paying after. So AT&T prepaid, we both have iPhone XRs, and we once had this month in October, it's the end of October, I had a unlimited package, and my husband did not have an unlimited package, but since he does rideshare, he ran out of data, so we've switched him to unlimited. So I am projecting that our bill is going to be roughly $106.50, because it used to be $86.50 and it went up $20. So I'm budgeting $106.50 for that. The next expense that we're going to budget for is my allowance. So I'm just going to put Shay allowance, and this is personal spending money. And I am going to budget $100, which is pretty much what we always budget, which pretty much does the trick. And for my husband, I am going to do the same. By the way, I am using a Papermate Liquid Flare. I bought these on Amazon. I think you do have to buy like a larger pack, but honestly, you guys, get into it. Like, I love these pens. Love, love, love them. Love them. Okay, next is beauty. So, fun fact, your girl was on her way to get a fill-in the other day, and then I was like, let me go scope out the pharmacy, whatever you call those. I think you call it the drugstore to see, you know, what kind of nail option they have. And I literally glued these on. And yeah, these are right on top of my actual natural nails. And so, in my head, I'm going to be using and wearing these moving forward. So these are $9, expected to last, you know, basically all month. If not, if they pop off, I'll glue them back on. And yeah, so in my head, I'm going to be slicing my beauty budget in half. However, not for the month of November, because I am getting my hair done, and I am going to be budgeting roughly $200 for that, with honestly probably 150 of it going to my hair, and and probably about 20 going to my husband's haircut, and then possibly my eyebrows. So basically, I was doing like 250 normally during the months where I get my hair done. I do like 250 or 300 because I was getting my nails done and all of that. But so this might look high, but in all actuality, it's kind of low. So 200 for beauty. Again, that's, you know, if my husband went and got a pedicure or manicure, whatever, like any of that would come out of, this is for both of us. It would come out of there. The next one is donation/gifts. So I don't actually have a birthday in November anymore. But I realized that November is like Black Friday or whatever, and I may pick up a thing or two for like a Christmas gift or whatever. I'm not really huge on Christmas, but if I see something, because I'm bored out fake shopping for Black Friday, by fake I mean like I'm only going to like a store or two, then I may pick up something or what have you. So that's why I'm budgeting $200 for donation/gifts. Also, I'm a pretty big donator, so there's that. The next one is toiletries, and this is for deodorant and paper towels and trash bags and things of the sort. We normally can get away with about 50. The next one is, I normally put this at the bottom, but sometimes I forget, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it in right here. And this is going to be $100. So this is basically for things that are unbudgeted that are reasonable. If we had a $500 miscellaneous expense, like we needed new tires or something like that, that would come out of savings. But if it's nothing major, we'll just kind of take it out of our monthly budget or our checking account. The next one is travel, and I hope and pray that you guys cannot hear the loudness that is the apartment underneath us, which, you know, I'm not going to complain, because this time in December, I will hopefully not have any neighbors below me anyway. I'm okay. I'm obviously going to have neighbors on either side, but maybe not none below me. I can hear their fan and their music, and hopefully you guys can't hear that. But the next one is travel. Again, I may go home, may rent a car, may not. Just kind of all depends. I rarely rent a car to go anywhere, but perhaps I may rent one to go home, but I don't really know. So I'm just going to budget $250 just in case, and that should pretty much do the trick, because it's for Thanksgiving, so I really don't have to buy food from anywhere. Just kind of show up and spend my gas money, of course. So I'm budgeting $250 for travel. The next one is going to be business. Now, the way I do business expenses is kind of unique. However, I do include it in the budget here just so I can track the expenses. So this is a part of our every dollar budget, mainly only because so I can track the expenses. Because I'm pretty big on that, because I like to, whenever it's time to file our taxes, because we normally owe every year, I like to go in there super duper correct with all of my stuff and present it, give the CPA all the stuff. We have like a private CPA, give him all the stuff that he needs and get up out of there, wait for him to do our taxes and then pay the IRS as quickly as possible. So I am pretty good at like tracking our business expenses. Okay, so the next one is going to be my gym, which again is $19.99, and my husband's gym, which is $19.99 as well. Then the next thing that we have is gas. We used to do like $140 for gas, you guys, but since my husband does ride share, better safe than sorry, so we are doing like $250 for gas. He just started this, so I'm not sure like really what a real actual amount really should be. I'm just going off of October, which we're shaping up to spend about $250 for October, so that's why I'm budgeting $250. The next one is actually life insurance, and that is actually due on 42/19. Actually due at the end of the month at 42/19. We do have rent insurance, but that's paid up until May, which obviously we're supposed to be in the house in December, so I'll call and cancel, get my little $30 back is probably what will be owed to me by that point, maybe a little bit more. And then we do have car insurance too, but we pay it every 6 months. So we paid it in June last, and then we'll pay it in December. So you'll see that, maybe you'll see that in the December budget. I normally don't put it in there because that money comes out of savings, but we do have car insurance, and we have everything, like every insurance that you could possibly think of. We have it all, but all of it comes out of our checks. I'm like an over-insurer. The next one is food, and this is going to be like it's going to be a lot, but I mean, it's much like every other month. It's going to be $1,000. Yes, there are 2 of us. We have an anniversary. We'll probably spend like $100 for that meal. And we also do dates. Dates come out of here too. So when we go out to eat, when we go to the movies and stuff like that, that usually comes out of here. On top of that, I'm not really projecting to buy anything for Thanksgiving, but if I go home, but if I don't go home and we have dinner here with friends, kind of like friends and families, like older friends, like my husband's mom's friends, then oftentimes I'll bring like a bottle of alcohol as my contribution, or like something like that, or whatever. I just definitely like to kind of bulk up the food budget for November because I like to be safe rather than sorry. So I'm normally like an over budgeter, but I do try to be pretty realistic as well and go off of like previous months or years. Can't believe I've been budgeting for like June, July, August, like 2.5 years. Okay, so the next one is going to be my husband's student loan. So we're going to do, well, just kidding. We'll do my loan first. That minimum payment is $221.78. My husband's minimum payment for his student loan, which of course those will be next for us to pay off. Kind of paused it to get into this house, which was a great debate and something that we contemplated, but taking into consideration the reason why we're even getting the house and all of that, it made sense for us to switch up some goals. And then we have our emergency fund. This isn't really like, okay, so we do put money in our savings account. It's not necessarily an emergency fund per se, but I mean, essentially that's kind of what it is, but not quite. So for our savings, we have, from my income, if we stay on budget, $1,807. Again, we will also save all of my husband's income, which our budget is pretty intense right now because we're trying to get into this house and do all of the things to furnish the house. And then the next one is going to be our rollover, which is money that we leave in our account to roll over to the next month to help pay the 1 or 2 bills that we have to pay at the beginning of the month, while we wait for other income to come in. So because we do an every dollar budget, if you add all of this up, then you will get $6,700 because our income minus our expenses is 0, because that is what it's called whenever you do a zero-based budget. It does not mean you drain your bank account to zero. That's not what the zero means in zero-based budget. It just means that you're accounting for every single dollar down to the very last cent, down to zero. So anywho, this is how November is shaping up for us so far. Sometimes I'll have to adjust something. Let's say it's not quite the very end of October at this point. At the day that you guys I'm filming this is October 24th, assuming you guys will see this tomorrow. It'll be, you know, about 5-6 days before the month ends. So if the month ends and there's something, you know, earth shattering or whatever that we need to change to our budget, or some expense has come up for November, then I will go back and like readjust and white out and that kind of thing. But for the most part, this is what we are expecting to work, like assuming no major emergency comes up or nothing major happens. This is what we are expecting, you know, to be working with for the month of November. And I'm gonna do something real random. I see this little wallet sticker with money coming out of it, and for some reason that makes me want to put that somewhere. For some reason I want to put it there, and then I'm going to put this little saving one down here with the savings. I don't know why, but that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so that is it for this video, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.